Welcome to our presentation. I'm Jared, this is Dylan, and we're going to be presenting over Shyft Solutions and our application that we helped design called the Exchange.
Yeah, so first we're going to go have an overview of the company. So Shyft Solutions is based out of Omaha, Nebraska. They have an expertise in U.S. Air Force operations, software development, and environmental sciences. They focus on empowering teams, streamlining organizations' processes. Some of the projects that they work on are weather web services, mission planning, and situational awareness tools. The commercial venture and the project that we are working on is called Exchange, which is cloud-based weather solutions. And their company goal is to transform big data into actionable insights for better decision making. And the problem that we have to solve for senior design is that weather data can often be confusing and overwhelming for individuals and businesses when trying to implement solutions to assist their day-to-day operations.
And so we're just going to go over a couple slides on who all worked on the project. So here we have the stakeholders. We have Justin on the left, Eric in the middle, and Kathy on the right. And then for the student team, there's myself. I was the squad lead and the project manager. We have Dylan, who's the development manager, and then Sanjay, Ethan, Jackie, and Tristan, who are all developers as well on the project. For the product, we have Kathy, who's the co-founder and COO, and then Eric, who is the co-founder. And every week we would meet with them to discuss our weekly accomplishments, our goals for the upcoming weeks. And they were a huge help in getting us off our feet technically and getting the project really going. And for faculty, we have Vinod, who was our tribe lead, who assisted in all the academic parts of the project, and then Melanie, who was the project manager, who focused on the design and how we were implementing our strategies, our goals, all that kind of processes. And then for the industry, we have Merrick, who's our industry coach, who we met with bi-weekly, and he would kind of just assist on if we had just any kind of big general overall questions or any kind of hiccups in the project.
So we'll get into the problem now in more depth. So weather data is often confusing and overwhelming, and individuals and businesses usually have four primary challenges when dealing with weather data. So one of them is that overwhelming data availability. There's a lot of weather data available, and it makes it really hard for people to identify the information that they need. There's a lot of complex data formats. Weather data is often presented in formats that are difficult to work with, especially if you're not familiar with things involving meteorology. It can be very, very overwhelming, and there's a lot of parameters and things that you probably have not seen that are in commercial products. Those are very surface level. And lack of integration with operational tools. Lots of weather products are standalone applications that don't integrate into other operational tools for businesses. And then there's also generic data requiring extensive parsing. So we talked about how there was that surface level data. It can still require a lot of parsing and analysis to make it valuable for you to actually use in those applications.
For the opportunity, our solution was the Exchange. It is a product designed to provide individual consumers and businesses with tailored and precise data. This cloud-based weather solution enables users to make informed decisions based on accurate weather conditions. The Exchange addresses previously mentioned issues by providing a tailored weather data API and enabling users to access specific relevant data. It's easier to integrate into their workflows and applications, ultimately enhancing decision-making based on accurate weather information.
So this is the solution built. This is Exchange. It's designed as a web application that we built starting in August and ending in May. And assists businesses in making informed decisions based on weather data and enhances operational efficiency and safety. The platform features two main sections. So we've got the dashboard and for viewing the weather constraints and widgets, and then we have the roadmap for visualizing routes considering tailored weather data, conditions and constraints. So if I go in that a little bit more, so for example, you can see on the top we've got the roadmap. One of the examples that I usually go to is trucking. So trucking companies probably don't want people driving when it's really cold out and there's going to be lots of ice, or if there's high winds. So if they set their constraint for, let's say, 50 miles an hour or over, when they go to the roadmap, wherever it's 50 miles an hour or over, it's going to highlight that. So let's say it would be that red segment in the top right there, and they're going to know, okay, as soon as I get into, in that example, I think it's Omaha, there's going to be a lot of wind. Maybe we should reconsider doing that today. And then on the bottom, you can see we've got more of like a weekly view, where we've got some of those components. So we have air quality index and sunrise and sunset. So another example you could say is like a lawn mowing company. If they know that it's going to be, near the winter time or something, and it's going to be setting at like 6 p.m., they probably want to wake up a little bit earlier and get operations started. And air quality index as well, that's just another component. And in that bottom right, there's the adding a new component or adding more constraints. I think that covers it pretty well.
Yeah, and we're not doing a demo at all today,
Yeah.
but you can see that this box is highlighted blue for Friday. The application, you can select any day and it'll actually update the weather information based on that current day. So for the system architecture, the front end uses React, a single page application, and we're writing it in TypeScript, which is a brand of JavaScript that makes it a little bit safer to run. We also use this library called Material UI, which has a bunch of pre-built components that follows the Google Material UI look. And then we also use AWS Amplify for connecting to AWS user services, especially for logging in and then creating accounts. And then on the back end, we use AWS services such as Cognito, Lambda, S3, and DynamoDB for various microservices related to storing and the retrieval of data, user credentials, and hosting. And then we have API endpoints that are written in Python and use Boto 3, and Fast API, which was an API provided to us through our sponsors.
And there's an overall system architecture. So you can see that the client is going to hit one of those weather data APIs. There's also, and it can retrieve the data. The UI is hosted on Amazon S3. And also there is where it will hit an Amazon API gateway, hit one of the serverless Lambda functions, which will do whatever work it needs to do. If it needs to grab information from DynamoDB, it can. It'll send it back, go back to the client, and represent it however need be.
Yeah, and then also on here, I don't think we listed it, but we did integrate it into, we had a local stack, which was kind of in between here, so we were simulating all these services on our local machine, just for development purposes, instead of developing on the cloud itself, which might have costed the company extra money. For value and highlights, collaborating with our sponsor has been a valuable opportunity for our team to gain practical experience in a professional environment. Throughout our engagement, we have honed our project management skills, mastering the art of timely sprints and proficient communication with the sponsor to deliver a product that aligns with their requirements. This hands-on experience has allowed us to cultivate essential soft skills that will undoubtedly prove beneficial in our future professional endeavors. Furthermore, we have received insightful feedback from our project manager and the tribe lead, which has empowered us to improve our presentation skills, including the quality of our slides and delivery. Such constructive input has undoubtedly enriched our learning experience and contributed to our growth as professionals. And thank you.